last time we stunk. But last time Miss Compton almost didn't remind us 5,000 times the way I have this time. So let me remind you for the 50,000th time, and I'll remind you again tomorrow for the 50,002 time that it is due tomorrow. Honestly, there are 25 questions, and when I did it during zero, I get I'm the math teacher, I get that. But when I did it during zero period, it took me 10 minutes. So I get you're not as fast as me, I got that. Still shouldn't take you all day. So really, Daniel's going to finish at this period. He's going to go ahead and show me today so he doesn't have to remember to do that tomorrow. That would be the genius thing to do. In fact, if you go ahead and show me, I'll go ahead and show you the key. So your study guide's due tomorrow. If you turn it in after tomorrow, I am going to take off because life is ridiculous. You got to get your stuff done on time, people. Okay, let's go ahead and go over these 4 math workshop problems. And then you have the rest of the period to work on your study guide. Which, does someone have a blank study guide? It doesn't hurt my feelings. Bring me your blank study guide. Okay, while he's doing that, what are we going to do on number 7? I heard it from 4 and 5. 4 and 5 get a point. We're going to do grouping. So if I put them in a group, what do I pull out of the first group? Okay. So I'm left with a y minus 2. What do I pull out of the second group? Okay. So my answer is x plus 1, y minus 2. Every group can have a point. The next question is an easy factoring because the leading coefficient is, thank you, Karen. Karen can have a point. It is 1, which means we just need to know 2 things that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1. Negative 4 and positive 3. That one's an easy one. They have a difference of 1. They multiply to negative 12, so perfect. Daniel's group gets the point. Number 9 looks hard, but is actually pretty easy. It's 1 minus h to the 4th. We're needing to turn it into a factoring problem. I know 1 times 1 is 1. We're worried about that h to the 4th. How do we break it apart? We do h squared, yes. But 1 needs to be positive and 1 needs to be negative. Daniel's group gets the point again. So it is 1. If we were to actually pull this out, the outer and inner would cancel out right now, and then it would be negative h to the 4th. So perfect. Our last problem is our most difficult one of the day. It is 2n squared plus 3n minus 9. We need to factor, but it is not an easy factor because of the 2. Because of the 2. Okay, so I know 2 times 1 is 2. So for sure it's 2n and n. From here on out is where we start guessing and checking. After tomorrow, once we beta due to matrices, and we start getting into quadratics, which is basically anything to the second power is going to end up being a quadratic, we can talk about other ways to factor, but for now, what's easiest and makes my heart happiest is just guess and check. So I'm trying to guess what the 2 factors are here, and they need to multiply to negative 9. So what things multiply to 9? 3 and 3, and then what else? 1 and 9. So I'm either going to put plus 3 minus 3, minus 3 plus 3, or plus 1 minus 9. I've got about 4 options. I mean, there's not that many things that multiply to 9. There are only so many finite choices. Okay, so we want to guess what we think we should do. It's called guess and check for a reason. He thinks 3 and 3. Which one's positive, which one's negative?
The first 2 and minus 3 and plus 3.
Okay, so he guessed, and I'm betting he guessed correctly, but who knows? It's why it's called guess and check. We made our guess. If we were to go back and guess again, we might change the signs. We might change it to 1 and 9. There are a couple options, but to check, we're actually going to FOIL it out. So 2n squared plus 3n, plus 6n, minus 3n, minus 9. Did he guess correctly?
Yes.
Why? Yes. Table 5 gets the point. So Daniel did guess correctly, and I don't know if I gave him a point or not for guessing correctly. He should get a point for that. But the reason we know he's correct is from the check. If when we checked it, it didn't end up making the original, we would say, oh, I guessed wrong. Let's pick a different guess. I like guess and check. I think it's the easiest. I don't know what your teacher taught you. Lord, there are a lot of ways. There's the star method. There's slide, divide, bottoms up. There's bust them up. We can talk about some when we need to, but I'm really praying, and you've made it this far in life, surely you know things that multiply to 9, and you can just guess it on out. If you're trying to get ahead, we're not going to do any math workshops tomorrow because you have a test, but on Wednesday we're doing 11 through 17. So if you're trying to get ahead, go ahead and have those done. Okay, on your study guide, let's look at it because I did have a change of heart about one tiny thing. Do you mind if I write on yours, Daniel?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to change one tiny thing. The tiny thing I'm going to change is it's okay to skip number 12. You don't have to skip it, but you can if you'd like to. It's a word problem that's supposed to help you end up with systems, but you already practiced systems with the last 3, so it's okay. There is not a word problem on the test like that. If you want to see the answer, though, it will also be posted with a key because I didn't skip it because it's not hard. But I get there's not a lot of space for it or whatever, so it is what it is. Okay, as for the others, so let's actually talk about this page first. So the determinants, I know you know how to put those in your calculator. However, on the test tomorrow, if Seth makes a typo mistake, he puts positive 5 instead of negative 5, he's going to get the wrong number. He's going to have completely the wrong number on his paper. I'm not going to be able to give him any partial credit because I don't know what he did. So maybe he wants to show me how he would circle the diagonals and how he worked it out by hand as well. Something. So that would be my suggestion on the 2x2 for determinants. For the inverse, you know we got to show it exists first, so we've got to check that determinant. And then the inverse button was the negative 1. It's the same place as the matrix button. And so I would suggest you look at that. And then, if I were you, I would be most concerned about showing work on the last 3. So I would probably show how I set it up. You know, I did 3, negative 1, negative 4, negative 13. I would probably show the matrix I typed in my calculator. And then I would show Ms. Compton what my calculator gave me after I pressed RF. So what we're hoping it gives you is that identity matrix. You know, it has all ones and zeros, and then a couple numbers. And then whatever those numbers are, they're the solution. But we discussed on Friday how if it doesn't give you the identity matrix, then it ends up being either all real numbers or like infinitely many solutions or no solution. And it really just depends on what's in that last entry. So if you get something crazy, that's definitely not the identity matrix. Then it really depends on this last number. If it's a 0, it's infinitely many. If it's 1, it's no solution. What I'm afraid Delaney's going to do is she thinks she knows this, so all she's going to put on her paper is no solution. What she ought to do is put the weirdo matrix she got entirely. So if she puts the wrong words, I can give her most of her points. I can take off maybe a point if she uses the wrong words. If she uses the wrong words and has no, this is what my calculator gave me, then it's kind of hard to pity that. Okay, are there any questions about this? Okay, so someone said, so it's just like the quiz we took the other day. Well, kind of. We still add, subtract, multiply, but we're adding determinants, inverses, and systems. So if you know the determinant button, you know how to get to the inverse button, and you know where the RF is for systems, you're good to go. But today is your last day to ask me about calculator button pressing, because if you think I'm going to answer it tomorrow, I'm not. Because as you can see, a large chunk of our test is, can you put it in your calculator and do the math with it in your calculator? Okay, I do want to look at the front page and talk about 2 tiny little things before I let you work. I've had a little bit of confusion with some people, so I want to address it. If you're adding or subtracting, the dimensions have to match. So, for instance, if I have a 2x3, the other matrix better be a 2x3. They have to match, exactly match. Okay, so like on number 1, they're both 2x2s. On number 2, it's a 2x3 and a 2x3. They match. There is a number where they don't match when they want you to add. What number is that? Number 5 has a multiplication symbol. 4. They want you to add, and they're different dimensions. So number 4 is not possible. I'm not going that deep yet, ma'am. But you're all over it. Okay, and then so they must match. Let me go back to this. They must match for addition or subtraction. But with multiplication, they don't have to match. We're looking to see if the inside terms match. So like a 2 by 3 and a 3 by 2, we can multiply. I had someone on their quiz try to use the multiplication thing to make all the addition and subtraction ones work. It's not going to happen. But the good thing is, in case you have a blind moment, you always can use your handy-dandy calculator. So if Tylen's calculator tells her like it has an error of some sort, either it's not possible or she's typed something in wrong. More than likely, it's not possible. So like if you tried to type in number 4 in your calculator, it's going to freak out because it can't do it. Because you're not supposed to do it. Okay, and then I had some people, my last thoughts before I let you work for the day, I had some people on the quiz skip the easiest problems possible. Seriously, just set 6 equal to A plus 3, so A equals 3. Set B plus 2 equal to 4, so B equals 2. They're very, very easy and very, very fast, and why on earth would you leave them blank? I just don't know. Okay, are there any questions about your study guide? Yes, dear.
Where do we go to get the inverse on
It is the same button as Matrix. It has the -1 on it. Just don't press second. It's the -1 button.
Okay.
So you would tell it, for instance, maybe you said second matrix, maybe you had it typed in A. You can't see that. Maybe you had it typed in A, and then you tell it -1, and it will give you the inverse. If it freaks out then, it didn't have an inverse, did you check the determinant? Probably not. Okay, are there any other questions besides that? If you have a question, please, please, please ask me today, because I'm not trying to be ugly, but I refuse to answer your calculator button pressing questions tomorrow. Okay, Daniel, you would like this back, wouldn't you? I would think so. Again, if you get it done today, go ahead and show me so we can go ahead and get you your points, and you don't have to worry about it tomorrow. Sure would make both